Welcome, boys and girls! It's time to open the gates of adventure and mystery to the land of Mythville, Chapter 14, The Ancient Curse. As the sun's light rolled through the small arched window, me and Robert flew down the stairs, following the sweet aroma of roses down to the inn. Laura sat on the cushioned stools in front of a young bartender, sat on the last available stools. Laura Jew, you both are big sleepyheads, you know that, right? As the bartender gave Laura a glass of pink petal water, yes. What do you two gentlemen want? Well, me and Robert will take a bowl of soup and some breadsticks. I ordered as Robert nodded his head in approval. Sigh, after 20 years of being king, why do you always choose soup and stale bread over everything else? Laura asked as he sipped the flowery water. It gave a common effect on everyone nearby. Well, back in my world, my family could only afford to eat soup and bread, I answered in a weird daze, as the steaming creamy soup brought me out of the daydream. As I shoveled the soup and breadsticks down, 3 chills stomped into the bar in the inn. As they all sat down at the corner table, I stood from my stool and approached the turtles. As Laura Robert fell right behind me, I, Chief Wingo, what are you doing all the way here in Ulster? Well, sigh, me and my fellow elders, on our elders' journey. Bensley's large smiling troll. After 3, I think I'll check a pincher of frosted blue milk. The shortest elder troll stated, most trolls can live up to 1,000 years, but no one has ever lived that long yet. As the other elder trolls slammed their silver wooden staffs on the ground, they transformed into the twin sorcerers. Tulesi and Melissy! Screamed Laura over the flute-playing bard on the stage. Who even are Tulesi and Melissy? Asked Robert as the other patrons continued to drink and chit-chat amongst themselves. Tulesi and Melissy are the only ones who have worked with Valdor, rambled Laura as the twin sorcerers gulped the rest of their tea down. Yes, Valdor was a great man to work with, but it's the same. Berto's pride cursed the school, said Tulesi as they all stood up from the table. Wait, did I do anything wrong? I'm sorry about Bellevue, stammered Robert. The twins slammed their staffs on the ground to become trolls once more. Melissy said, no, as long as you have a pure heart, no evil can claim you. The sword's elder troll tossed a bronze medallion. They disappeared within a flash of blue light as Robert held the medallion in his hands. I read the engraved words, Champions of Light. After Robert picked up the strange bronze piece, he wandered out of the bar and in. To travel through the gleaming silver wires, Laura asked, Sigh, can I have a marble? As the tossed her a marble around a group of cats hanging from the trees. Even the weird, red-eyed cats stared back at me. Danger is coming, whispered Laura as the marble floated with a bright yellow light. As it zipped through the sky, a putrid smell drifted from deeper into the window's silver trees. She followed the foul smell. 2 assassins appeared locked in combat. Below the ancient Greek fairy, named Princess Ellipsis, carved into the stone. But below the mentioned dragon hunter, with the carved name that read General Verum. As the Lord crosses down to an engraved flag, below the fighting frequency. In love and memory of the Golden Heart Valor. Sigh, I have no clue how long you have been in this world. We have only been gone for 20 hours back home, said Robert as a swarm of dark moths surrounded him. As he was lifted off the ground, the voice of Val echoed through the trees. Oh, how sweet it is for you to find your friend. As a swarm of dark moths formed into the top half of the red-eyed Val, she flew into a large open cave behind the statue. She followed her and Robert into the humongous cave. The swarm around Robert was hovering over pitch-black water. As Val flew over half-broken archway, she said, the more you wait, the closer Robert will fall into the grunted dark waters below. As one by one the moths disappeared back into Val, a little sun was glowing the greenest yellow. The swarm got smaller every minute. I pulled out my light relic as I threw the pure white coaster at Val. A blinding white light flashed across the cave. As the vision became clear, the swarm of dark moths was replaced by a great white moth. As it shrunk and flew deeper into the cave, Robert plunged into the cold dark water below. As me and Laura quickly pulled him out, Robert had a gypsy dark woman on his foot. As he entered the waters below, but the smell was no more. As we all stepped back up, Laura shouted, this is the fable fairy kingdom. As Laura's glowing hands emit enough light to show silhouettes of long forgotten ruins, and picked up the gem with no effects occurring. Legend says that all fairies and furballs descend from this very kingdom, related Laura, as the water slowly changed back into murky blue. As we ambled outside of the cave, sorry, if this place was cursed, why haven't I been corrupted? Well, maybe it's because you're pure of heart. I repeated the same lines the elder troll said before, even though I didn't believe in those statements. I still don't fully remember Robert. Well, time can tell, I mumbled to myself as we headed straight for the setting sun. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and buy my books off Amazon, and have a magical day.